In this session, I am going to talk about what we are going to do in coming days, and the one thing that all of you want to listen to basically. So, how to succeed in this examination, right? So, how many of you want to listen more of how to succeed in this examination and less about insights IAS? It's a difficult choice. Okay, I'll try to balance both, right? So, talking about insights IAS is again kind of boasting, right? So, this year, do you know the results? So, how many ranks that we are claiming that we got? Anyone? Any idea? No, before getting admission, you would have done some research, right? How many ranks this institution is claiming? How many ranks Insights IAS got? No idea. Somebody told you and then you directly came and joined. Okay, right. So we got nearly like 200 plus ranks. So I'll be very honest with this. 200 plus ranks is not directly from classroom, right? From classroom, people like you who came here, studied, we got 9 ranks. So including rank 25, rank 46 and rank 77 in top 100. So for us that is an achievement. So there above 100 there are other 6 ranks who used to be OGP students in last 2 years, right? It is not like they were students of 4-5 years ago and then they went to other places and became toppers. Last year we got All India rank 5 from the very classroom program, right? So he was there as part of OGPA. He started like you, and then next year he joined core batch, and then he got rank 5. Now, how did we get that rank 5? How did we get rank 25? That is the highest from OGP, and from other programs we have n number of courses: mains test series, prelim test series, and then interview guidance. So in top 100 we got 41 ranks from different courses. So every 41 candidate who got in top 100, I have spoken to them before they became toppers. I personally have guided them with respect to interview, answer writing, and then of course as part of OGP programs as well. So every year we are getting this kind of experience that we are getting new insights about what needs to be done to succeed in this examination. And at the same time, every year the exam keeps changing. It's not like static. Every year the exam demand changes, the way UPSC evaluates papers, the way UPSC sets question paper, every year it keeps changing. So if you really want to crack this examination, this is basically 1 year cycle. Doesn't matter whether you are already in IPS, already have given interview. If you want to crack next examination, you have to treat yourself as a fresher, somebody who is willing to learn again aggressively like a fresher with new mindset, new thinking and new energy. So if you assume that you already know so many things, then it's going to be very difficult to crack this examination. So that brings one new insight that you people are at an advantage, right? And if you analyze last 3 years results, more and more people in first attempt are the freshers. First attempt in the sense that those are writing their first mains, right? They are able to clear this examination in more and more numbers, right? But to crack this examination in 1 attempt or in 2 attempts, so what does it require? Consistency, then perseverance. So I keep asking this question in every class. Everybody knows the answer, right? Everybody knows these words. It requires consistency, confidence, perseverance, determination, hard work, smart work. Then clarity of thought. What else? So what are the other qualities that you can think of? Faith. Very good. You attended last session. No. Again, faith has 2 dimensions. So faith in your own abilities and faith in What? Faith in faculties. Very good. So faith in the yeah, actually true, right? Of course, it has another dimension. Faith in the destiny, faith in your God, faith in your destiny, faith in so whatever you are believing in, right? And especially in institution, faith in your own abilities and faith in the institution. These two are extremely important. If this faith, I believe this faith is the foundation for all other values, all other qualities, all other characteristics that we are talking about. Being consistent, being confident. So it doesn't work if there is no strong foundation of faith, right? Especially in your own abilities. That it should start with in your own abilities. Before coming to institution, you decided, right? Somebody in train, somebody in bus, somebody in bathroom, somebody in wherever, like you decided one day, one fine day, maybe you looked into one IAS officer, one IPS officer, one lady IPS officer, one some Singham of some state. So you got inspiration. So the moment you got inspiration, you started feeling that you can also be one among them, one of them, right? IAS, IPS, Indian Foreign Service officer. And then you started thinking about, how this role is going to change, again, your own life and the life of people around you, and then the life of others whom you want to serve, right? So did you visualize, did you think about these things? So when you started thinking about, pursuing about IAS, IPS, how many of you did that? No one. In what way you want to serve the society? We keep thinking most of the times, like especially in the very beginning of this preparation journey, even once upon a time I used to be like you. So we keep daydreaming, succeeding in this examination, seeing our name, and then those celebrations, right? So all the media, all the newspaper coverage, parents getting attention, you getting attention. The initial visualization will be these things, right? And once you enter the service, the reality is completely different, right? But so that is what decides, the strength of your faith, right? One, you have belief in your own abilities, and then if you have to continue to believe in your own abilities, right, to sustain this long journey of civil services. So it is not like 100-meter race, right? People say it is marathon. So it is like minimum 2-year journey from today onwards. So if you want to sustain this, you should have a very large purpose in front of you. Not just succeeding in this examination as a self-fulfillment, as a self-interest. So you can sit, the chairs are empty here. So not as a self goal. So this is extremely important, because so what I have seen is that the motivation factor in this examination is very short-lived, right? Everybody starts with the highest motivation possible, self-motivation, outer motivation, inner motivation. So motivation of Sadgurus, motivation of all YouTube motivation, right? And then you start slowly helping YouTube, right? After a few days, you make YouTube richer and richer every day, by watching videos again. And today at the end of the session, we will show our own motivation video, right? I think you might have seen, again I will show it. So why do you see that, right? Because the faith in your abilities start diminishing. It goes on decreasing, after day, another month, another year, it goes on diminishing. So ensure that whatever clarity you have right now today, whatever strong purpose you have, remains strong, right? So after looking at the incidents that are happening around us, the very definition of success, we have to redefine it, right? So whatever is happening around us, we have to redefine the success. So in this journey, just clearing the examination is not success, right? So what you need to do is that you have to use the success, that you are going to get by clearing this examination for, spreading hope, faith and happiness to others. If you keep visualizing that is the purpose that you are going to clear this examination, I am 100% sure that you don't have to watch n number of motivational videos. Of course, we are all humans. Now and then the things will, go up and down, but you should have that self ability to bounce back through your own self talk, right? So that is when this exam becomes, an enjoyable journey. Second is belief in the institution, right? So, you are all graduates, some of you are postgraduates. So we start judging things. So going forward, right? We know that myself, I am not perfect, but I am extremely perfect in criticizing others. We do that. We do that on Twitter. We do that on, Facebook. Cricket match, yesterday cricket match, right? Have you really played with that kind of bat and ball in your lifetime? Were you there in the position of being a captain in an international match, right? So it is so easy to, sit and say that they should have played like this. It is a mental game, they should have got the strong mental ability to, to deal with the opponent. And here you are watching YouTube videos, Sadhguru videos, right? And then you are saying that, commenting, right? So failure is part of, success, very good. So we call it a setback. In this examination, I don't like to use the word failure. So if you are not clearing prelims, it is a minor setback, right? If you are not clearing mains, another setback. Not clearing this examination, just another setback, in your life. So there are n number of opportunities if your purpose is always to help others, right? But you have chosen this avenue. So this is one path that you have chosen to do that. So the second option, having complete faith in the institution, is important because, you will start listening to us, right? If we say write answer on the very first day, you will write irrespective of whether you have written answers before, whether you have courage to write answers or not, right? You just have to try. Like for example, on 5th, when your first class starts, I think it starts with art and culture. There will be a question in the class, right? You take out your notebook, take out your pen, whatever be the question, you just try to answer it. So never give any excuses to yourself, to anyone, to teachers, mentors, that I don't have content, I don't know. Any question we ask will be mostly related to what you have already studied till 10th standard. Between class 5th to 10th standard, some of you have studied humanities till 12th standard. You can write something, right? If not anything, just introduction and conclusion. If you don't know exactly what the body is about, right? You can write something. But what we see every year is that if we assume that the classroom is full of 200, 300 students, less than 20 students actually write answers. Right. First day, most of them write. After 1 week, we see that, the percentage is less than 5%. Those who, sit. So those who do things that we ask you to do. And then we give 5 to 10 MCQs in the classroom. So no institution does it. So we do it. So the purpose is that the classroom experience is not just one way traffic, that you listen to things, that we spoon feed something, because we are giving next day questions. You have to go and revise textbooks, come back and then answer these questions. So if you have this faith that why we are giving, what we are giving is for your own good, and irrespective of whether you are going to study these things or not, if you go on answering these questions, after 2 to 3 months, you will be in a far better position than, compared to others who do not do these things. You will actually feel that, the confidence increasing. Like previous batch, I have 4 students who come regularly for essay evaluation. So They always say that. So after joining this classroom program, I don't have time to think about anything, right? Every week they are writing essay, every day they are writing one classroom answer and 2 answers from our website. There is something called Secure Initiative. How many of you know that? Okay, so on our website, what we do, every day we give like 6 to 7 questions taken from that day's editorials. So instead of you people reading newspaper passively, what we wanted to do is, if you read an editorial, on that we will give a question on the website. So after reading the question, if you read the editorial, you will be reading in order to answer the question, right? So if you start answering even those questions, I don't ask you to do from day one. You can take little more time, maybe 15-20 days, and start answering one question. So these boys who come and say that, I get so much happiness when they say that, they don't have time to think about other things. Morning to evening it is, you have class, after the class revision, then optional revision, and for you people it is going to be even more hectic, right? 2 classes, but you should enjoy them, right? Everything that you are going to do from today onwards is an exercise in not only in order to gain knowledge, but also in terms of personality development. And you know how important is personality development for this examination? How many of you know the importance of personality for this examination? Can I quantify and say example? If you want to crack this examination, knowledge will not ensure success. Knowledge alone will not ensure success, but personality is equally important. So what do I mean by this? Anyone? So what is the highest marks you can score in the interview? 210. Anyone else? For how many marks interview is conducted? 275, right? So GS paper is 250 marks. So it is 25 extra marks. So what is the highest marks you can score in interview out of 275? You might have seen the marks of previous toppers, this year toppers. 215 is the highest marks, right? Second highest marks this year is 212. Last year 212 was the highest marks in the interview. So 212 is scored by rank 77. Akshay Simha was last year OGP student, right? So I basically guided him. You might have seen his videos for interview. This year I guided like more than 500 students for interview alone. 500 out of 2000 people who got selected. I mean, all of them had so much faith in me and institution. They came for interview guidance. 197 of them got ranks. So among them, like, there are 40 plus people who got 195 to 212 marks. So you sit there for 20 minutes in front of the board, 20 to 30 minutes. You just answer their questions. You respond to their questions, and you walk out with maximum 215 marks out of 275. That is given to only one person. 212 also one person. But 206, 201 to 206 is something which you can always, which all of you can aspire for, right? You can prepare your personality to get that many marks. Now imagine 3 hours you are sitting in a GS paper, writing GS paper, right? What is the highest marks you can score in GS paper? So around 120 now, the present trend, right? 115 to 120 is kind of highest marks in all 4 GS papers. In ethics, like in 2019, people are scoring 130, 140, but again it is brought down to 120s. So 120 is something, the highest marks, right? So you prepare throughout the year, you read every book that that is there in the market, and in the mains examination you write for 3 hours and you score 120. That is like very rarely. Most of the scores are in the range of 95 to 105, right? Even the toppers. So do you see anything here? So you can convince them in 25 minutes, walk out nearly double marks of the GS course, right? So what UPSC is doing, the present trend, they are bringing down the mains marks. So they are kind of equalizing, you know, GS scores, optional marks, even essay marks. Essay is around, you know, like 140 is kind of maximum marks people have got. 149 is highest, I think. So 120 is in GS, 1, 2, 3, 4 in mains, and in optional 270, 280 is like maximum marks. 875 is the highest mains marks this year the candidate has scored, right? So last year it was 900 plus. The mains marks are brought down. So after 875, the all toppers marks are in the range of 800 to 840 in top 100. Now, if you really want to be IAS, IPS and Indian Foreign Service officer, you need to get 200 plus or 190 plus in interview. And again, they don't give everyone these marks, right? They have to see something in you. When you sit in front of them, they should imagine that, okay, he is going to be or she is going to be IAS, IPS, IFS. And in fact, the entire interview is done only for IAS. They don't imagine your IRS officer is sitting, right? Indian Trade Service. Unless you put Indian Foreign Service as first option, then they do it for, you know, with perspective of Indian Foreign Service, or IPS first, IPS. Otherwise, they keep imagining you as IAS officer, right? So what does it say? One most neglected part of this examination preparation is you people, aspirants, ignore this, the vital aspect of this exam. Majority of them start preparing for interview only after clearing mains, not after mains. After clearing mains. And it's not surprising because many of them will not know if they are going to clear it, right? So that is how the uncertain this examination is. But in this orientation, I would like to tell you that you have to start working on your personality also. So what is this personality? Like, everything you do on day-to-day basis is helping you develop the personality. So as we said, you know, about the faith. So that brings confidence, consistency, self-motivation, you know, clarity. And as you go on learning more and more through newspapers, through classroom, through textbooks, that enhances knowledge. And as you go on writing more and more answers, that will improve your ability to think, right? Think, interconnect things. The more you write essays, makes you think original. So all you need to do in those 20-30 minutes is, you have to be very precise to the point. The answer which you write in 250 words, you have to give in 30-40 seconds, right? So to reach that ability, everyday thinking is important. So everyday thinking doesn't come just by listening to class. Solving questions, writing answers, going back and reading original textbooks, trying to answer the questions that are there, you know, in previous years and back of the chapters. All these things will only help you prepare holistically for the examination. So otherwise, how many, like literally thousands, I have seen people, you know, clearing prelims, clearing mains, but not getting the rank. If at all you want to get a rank, it's combination of many factors. If at all you want to be in top 10, top 100, top 50, it's combination of, there are like certain factors that you need to ensure from day one of your preparation. Does it make sense? Now, how will you build your personality? Now, I won't go in detail about how to do well in interview. Anyway, you are going to be OGP student and we are going to be with you till you succeed. This year, next year, another year, you are always welcome. So that is one speciality at Insights, right? So once you complete the course, you can come back, keep getting guidance, right? Irrespective of where you are. So we are not going to give up on you. So you also don't. So give up on us whenever you need any feedback, any guidance, suggestion. So you can always come and talk to us. I tell this in every session again, everyone will not come. And I ask the same question, why everyone will not come? So what is this with humans? Right? Like, can you give an example? Like, you are from engineering, right? Most of you are engineers. So how many of you are not engineers? Can you raise your hands? Not engineers. Oh, this is very surprising. Good. Nearly half the class is not engineers. So you are all scientists? Good. So how many of you are engineers? Good. Like, so very happy to know this. Good. So it indicates, shift in. Why is this? Because in previous batches, nearly 70% of the class used to be engineers. So why is that, the balance? Anyway, leave it. So why I was asking is that, so in your classroom, you might have known, right? If there were, say 50-60 students, right? There will be one topper always studying, keeping secret notes, not giving, sharing. So, and there will be few others, right, who study and, who chill out and then again do well in the examination, right? But out of these 50 students in your classroom, respective colleges, classroom, wherever, how many of them used to go and talk to their teachers on a regular basis? How many? Bada kami. How many on an average? Like imagine your class, less than 10. I think still 10 is big number, I think. Right? 1, 2, 3 people, right? The two only favorite teachers, not everyone. Right? So I don't know about boys, if there were. It is both ways anyways. So in college days you will have your own crush and all. Oh, unfortunately people bring it here also. Seriously, so our other teachers, not me, I'm old. So yeah, that is one thing I want to talk about here. I'll keep it. You remind me, okay, at the end of the session. I have to talk about it. So the point is, people don't approach teachers in college, understandable, right? Because you are not studying there, right? You are studying only one day before the exam and you know what questions are going to come. So you memorize, you go, there is no necessity of teachers. But this whole preparation is completely different compared to what we have done so far, right? Here, mentoring, guidance are two extreme, crucial, important part of this journey for you. And Insights IAS is known for it, right? Why some of you might be chosen is for individual guidance. Even I sit and talk. I don't know, while coming for admission, you people might have seen me, evaluating essays, evaluating answers. I do this, around 20 mentors do this on a regular basis. But again, everyone doesn't come to them. And we have ability to, if every one of you come, I can look into your answers, I can look into your essays, mentors can do this. But because you don't write answers every day, because you don't write essays every week, right, you are making me pay salary unnecessarily to our mentors, right? Very few people come. And of course, like we have many batches, they are working round the clock, they are really working hard. And they stay till 7, 8 o'clock, sometime 9 o'clock in the evening also, and they are accessible on phone also. And I don't know like why you people are paying fees here, and that is so much low fees, and not availing the facilities. I really mean the fees is kind of lowest here for all the things. If you can make use of the things, the mentorship, the evaluation. As far as I know, people promise in other institutions, but nobody cares if you are writing answers or not. If you write, they don't evaluate. They don't have time. And many people don't talk to you directly. The teachers are available. You can go and talk to them now, right? And other thing is the continuous support that you will get even after you complete the course, right? So if you say like prelim test series, like I'll give you for free of cost after this you complete the course. Like if you want to write in 23, right? So if you clear prelims and come and say that like you want big discount, or like you are poor, like okay, mains test series you write, right? And then interview we don't charge. Like if you want 10 mock interviews, I do 10 mock. For Akshay Sima, I did 7 mock interviews. So there is one more guy this year, like he got around 160 last year in interview. He was scared about interview. right? So he was just mainstay series student. So I did 14 mock interviews for him, and he got 198 this year. And just because of interview marks, he got ranked 235. Just because of the jump in interview marks, right? So that support will be there, provided you from day one you do your part, right? And you should ask yourself what is preventing you from doing your part. So that also I have seen many people. It can be every one of us come from various background. Somebody not so with good education, not so good college. Most of you haven't read newspapers before. Suddenly reading it, writing answer will be difficult. But give yourself time and don't be in hurry to do social service, right? I mean, why you want to clear this examination just by age 23, 22, 24, 25? If you ask me, prepare so well, lay the ground, strengthen your foundation, give exam in 23, right? And clear it in one attempt. And don't be in hurry, like irrespective of all the expectations, pressures that you have, don't be in a hurry to clear this examination. You have to do justice to everything. Optional, they expect you to write really good answers by reading really good books. Mere attending coaching, reading coaching notes, no, you are not going to score above 220 marks in any optional subject if you are not reading original textbooks. 2 years ago, I would have said read any coaching notes, you would get marks. But last 2 years, the trend is that they really want a very good officers for this country. Those who can think on their own, those who can apply their mind, right? Those who can do real hard work, right? Not shortcuts. And similarly, you have to do justice to your personality development. I can give in writing. I don't have to give in writing. I mean, it is proven. If you are not scoring 190 plus, 99% of you are not going to get IAS, IPS and IFS. It's not possible, right? So, I mean, that is one very good aspect of the examination. Now you can go, like learn so many things, develop your personality, talk and, get IAS, right? Mains, more or less, it's equalized. The margin of marks between maybe like rank 1, rank 2, there will always be difference, because rank 1 suddenly they score highest in optional or some papers and they are kind of outliers, exceptions. So for other students, the margin is first rank to, the last rank is maybe 50-60 marks now, right? So it is getting shrunk, the mains marks. You don't have any innate advantage, by opting for one particular optional or by being very good in one GS paper, right? The personality, the UPSC has full control over, whether to put you in IAS, IPS or Indian Foreign Service, right? So, in order to be one of those who can score 200, there are other things you need to do, right? I am going to scare you now, like, shall I? Yes, sir. Only 1 or 2 yes I can get. Yes, sir. Okay. Apart from all the textbooks, you should have 1 or 2 hobbies, especially reading and writing, right? So apart from all these books, so if you are reading, well and good, right? So again, not fiction, right? Of course, you can continue to read fiction books. Again, when I say fiction, not Chetan Bhagat and Sidney Sheldon, Jeffrey Archer, those kind of books, but serious literature, kind of like Shakespeare, those kind of things, classics. It can be your own language, it can be English, anything, right? Non-fiction books, right? Non-fiction books related to different fields, right? It can be related to environment, it can be related to sports, it can be related to different aspects, biographies, autobiographies. So why I am suggesting this is, this exam, as I said, the marks are getting reduced in mains and more prominence is given in interview. Even in mains, those who bring original input, original views in their essays, ethics answers, even to some extent GS, are getting very good marks, right? Even in interview, those who can give kind of new perspective, new viewpoint all the existing issues are getting very good marks. You won't get them merely reading, current affair compilation and the notes, right? So you have to diversify, and by reading them and then writing about them, you will develop those abilities, right? These things people will not tell you, right? I mean, I am not telling that we are special or anything. This is the most important part of the preparation. But there should be discipline. You can just give 1 hour for reading those books. You can have target of 1 book in a month, right? Like most of the people, like many people are reading the Sapiens book, right? So there is another book, 20 Lessons for 20th Century. So these are very popular books. When I am interviewing people, they said which books they are reading. They say they are reading these books. And then I tell, okay, these everyone is reading. Have you read other books? Right. So you have to have a list of, say, like maybe 20-25 books before you give your interview. Assume that you are going to give interview in either in 23, or if you are giving 23 exam in 24. So divide them into number of months, and something not related to UPSC, directly not related to UPSC. Some of them can be related anyway, you can use them. So because UPSC is related to everything, right? It's related to every field of academic study we have. Somewhat they will help you. Will you do this? Or is it the difficult thing to do? No, right? I mean, it's the most enjoyable part, you can involve in. So that you must do. I understand it's going to be difficult because 6 hours in class, then optional, some of you might join for 2.5 hour class. But even then, doing half an hour, 1 hour, this. So this is something related to reading and writing. You may have other hobbies, music, right? And something like music, not just like singing, learn about music also, right? Every aspect of music. So if you are into sports, learn things about sport. Not just, don't be like this. Kind of diversify. You should be able to think about anything very quickly, link different disciplines and come up with a decision or a sensible solution. So that is what UPSC is looking at. So, and I believe our timetable is in a way designed in such a manner, right? So if you write answers, if you do MCQs, if you write essay, and if you write weekly test, this will take care of all these things. So after 5-6 months, you will be in a position to interlink everything, right? You have to do these things. So then, how many of you are really pumped up, like motivated that you are going to clear in 23? 22, anyone, any soul here thinks that they can crack in 22? Excellent, very good. Of course, like it's all about thinking, okay. So if you want, you can study for 18 hours, 16 hours, 12 hours, 4 hours. You put your limit yourself. So externally, nobody is asking you to study only for 6 hours. Right? How many of you are preparing full time for the examination? Full time means you are not in any job. How many of you are in job? 1, 2. So other people didn't raise your hands. Like 3 people are in job. Others, you have part-time jobs. Huh? Full time, right? So what is the full definition? What is the definition of full time? What? Full time dedicated to pursuing this goal of clearing this exam, right? I'm sure, like how many IPS? Everyone wants IAS here. IPS? Oh, good. Around 10-12 people, all boys, right? Indian Foreign Service? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So barring around 20 people, everyone wants to be IAS. So the full time is either dedicated for Indian Foreign Service IPS or becoming IAS, right? So full time is like you have 24 hours. So how many hours you sleep on an average? When you are not stressed, when you are not sick, when you are not worrying about anything, when you are normal? 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many 8 hours people here? Of course, good. Now you should sleep 6 to 8 hours minimum. So even after sleeping for 8 hours, how many hours are left? 16 hours, right? So in 16 hours, if you minus like 10 hours for classes optional, and you are still with 6 hours. Okay. So when you are having breakfast, how much time it takes? Half an hour. What do you? I mean, to eat 2 idlis or 2 dosas, and then to have tea, 10-15 minutes. Lunch, maybe 20 minutes. Dinner another 20 minutes. Coffee break maybe another 10 minutes. Right? Combined like 1.5 hours. Right? You're still with 4.5 hours. Then somebody is asking like, what about taking bath, brushing, other things, yoga, meditation, and all. So that is up to you, right? So what I believe, one individual can actually give 14 hours, right? So 14 hours is something maximum. Beyond that, if you are sacrificing, taking bath and those things, stinking, then maybe. So if not, 14 hours is 12 to 14 hours. You can actually give productively with short breaks now and then, right? So I believe if you really want to crack this examination, that is the dedication it requires. And there are smart people, who study 6-8 hours, but one thing they hide or don't reveal is that they come with preparation. During graduation, they might have completed basics, right? Here they, they portray themselves as very smart individuals, studying for a few hours, scoring very good marks, right? If 1 or 2 exceptions may be there, their brain is something different, right? But majority of you, nothing beats practice, right? Practice, practice. Again, practice means what? Not coming to class, listening to lecture, right? That is not practice. What is practice here in UPSC? Revision also not practice. Of course, revision is part of practice, but more of writing, solving questions. If you are doing it every day, at least for 2 hours, next throughout 1 year, you have like very good chance of clearing this exam in 1 attempt. Very good chance of clearing this exam in 1 attempt. And I'll tell you, beyond like 2 attempts, it gets depressing. Beyond 2 attempts, if you don't clear prelims or don't clear this exam, it becomes, difficult to cope up with, because you will start inviting trouble from every corner, right? Parents, friends, comparison. So you are all freshly graduated, majority of you, right? So imagine in 3 years your friends, right? So those who didn't choose this path, so they'll be happy with some other, let them be happy with some other jobs, but your focus completely should be on this. But that will start affecting you, right? So once they get settled, once they get getting good salary, some of they go to foreign and on Instagram, Facebook, they put all their happy. Everyone puts only happy thing, right? I mean, even as an aspirant, you will put the happy thing on Instagram, right? And we believe their life is really good and beautiful. It's not like that actually. Including me, including everyone. Everybody goes through something. We don't. If I'm crying, will I put it? Like, nobody does, right? So that is all. So what you see on social media is not the truth. So never get influenced by it, right? So always use your own mind and create a small inner circle. As an aspirant, never worry about what is happening to India, what is happening to the world. Worry in the sense, don't spend time thinking about it. Thinking in the sense that, as if you are going to solve the problem right now. You have to think, understand the issue, right? Prepare yourself to deal with the crisis maybe when you are in the position. But right now, don't be sad, don't be angry, worrying about what is happening around us. complete focus should be on equipping yourself, preparing yourself to deal with that situation later. So read, immerse in this, the bubble of UPSC preparation. Keep revising, keep writing, keep solving questions. There are like thousands of things to do. Like previous year MCQs, keep doing them again and again. Even when you are having coffee, I mean, it might sound ideal, but there are few students who have done this. Rank 5, for example, Jaydev. So in his very second attempt, he cracked. First attempt, he didn't clear prelims. So second attempt, he did this. So for me, he is an ideal candidate, right? So before him, there was rank 26 in the first batch, 24. Neha Kumari, I have given her example everywhere. So to give this example, both the examples, okay, for you, rank 26, Neha Kumari, as far as I know. So when we started our offline classes in 2014, so we had an entrance and selected 40 students. She came as 41st student. She requested an admission. She was working in Tata Steel with 1.5 lakh. At then she was from BITS Misra. She requested that I really want to crack this exam. I have this purpose, vision. I have that mail. So she requested me to give an admission, and I gave. Overnight, she took the train, came with all her books. Before coming to Insights, it was not classroom teaching at that time. It was everyday test-based approach. So she came in the evening, like it was after like 10 days after we started. Some evening ethics test was going on, and she came with all her luggage in Maruti van and from railway station, and her father was also there. She said like, sir, I don't have room yet, like what should I do? So I told her, your father, somebody will assist your father to find a room, you come and write the test, right? She said like, I haven't prepared anything, sir. So I said, that is ethics test, so you don't have to prepare, you just have to think and answer. So she, without saying anything, she went to the class, even though she was so much tired, and she wrote the test for 1.5 hours, right? So that attitude she continued to show for next 10 months. So she came in February. The prelims was in I think July, I think that year, and she decided her optional while filling the application. Anthropology she took. So at that time, one could get decent mark by solving last 10-15 years papers. She did that immediately after prelims. But we used to conduct test every day, even 15 days before prelims. So I always believed writing answers every day will always help in prelims as well, right? So that is the intention of Secure, doing every day, even when the prelims is going. So she wrote every test, every single test, every day, even when she used to have fever and everything. In the very first attempt, she got rank 26. She scored low in anthropology. So that year, Ira Singhal, rank 1, scored 360 something in geography. Neha scored 260. So there was no time to prepare for anthro, completely. An interview she got at that time. So we didn't have this interview guidance, like just like one random mark. She went to Delhi, people scared her. She got around 159 in interview, right? If she had got 190 plus in interview, 300 in optional, she would have got rank 1 that year. We would have been even more popular, right? So, but for me, she is always rank 1. I mean, anyone in the list is always, it doesn't matter, like matter of 30-40 mark difference, right? So the attitude, she literally studied every day 12 to 14 hours. I am not saying this to just to inspire you, motivate you, and it is a case study for me since then. If she can do, if she could do at that time, coming all the way from Jharkhand, she came from Jamshedpur, and coming to Bangalore, she never went back even for a single day. So that is another thing. She went only after the results, not even after mains, right? So she went only after she got the results. No Deepavali, no festival, no Holi, nothing, right? Nowadays people demand 2 days holidays for Deepavali, right? And parents are also like that, especially Karnataka people very attached. So weekend, they want you to go to their home, or they come you as if it is, as if you are still a kid. So the dedication is important. So rank 5, Jaydev, his case was different. He was staying in Bangalore. So he was staying with his parents. But in him, what I saw was even better attitude of keeping things very simple, keeping things extremely focused on only preparation. He never ever spoke about anything other than UPSC, right? With fellow candidates or with mentors or teachers. And when he came and gave a talk, it is there on YouTube, he said something that is still with me. He said that basically I treated this whole preparation as a job, right? Like as a job where I was recruited. So morning to night, this is my job. I am not paid salary, so it is going to be paid in the future, right? I treated it as a job. I never took it as a burden, never took it as something extraordinary I was doing, right? So that's mindset is important. You will not complain, right? Like for example, if I employ you with 40,000-50,000 salary, if I give some work, you will do it. And if you are into some corporate, those who are working, wherever you are working, you may complain about people there, but you work, right? Because you are getting salary. But here, when you are preparing for the examination, many people don't do that. Today, you have to write an answer. If you treat it as a job, you will write an answer. But if you are not treating it like that, then you will postpone it. Because there is no one to blame you, they will scold you, right? So you need to be accountable to someone, first to yourself and to the mentors, to the institution. So you should have that little fear that if you are not going to write today, if you are not going to attend the class today, you are actually sacrificing, the preparation, the success. So you are allowing someone else to move forward in this journey of UPSC preparation. So that awareness is essential. And because we have different thinking, we have different personalities, we have different emotions, we have different circumstances, it's extremely difficult to do whatever I have told you to do. But despite having all these negative things, whatever commitments, whatever distractions you have, if you can just focus on this, right? Once you get this job, the story is entirely different, right? I mean, imagine, all you need to do is read NCERT, these few books, write answers, right? Attend classes, think, develop personality, like 2 years, 3 years, you are into this job, big job. So, Neha Kumari, next year she will be made district collector, right? So, our first batch of students will start becoming district collectors in 1 or 2 years. And people already, my students are already SP in Karnataka, like 4 districts. Many of them are like CEOs of Zilla Panchayat. So, when you look these individuals who are sitting like you here as a student, right, with no so-called power, responsibility, just preparation, and the personality is same, right? Of course, they became more mature, more thinking, but suddenly were given the huge responsibility of managing the affairs of entire district, right? So this transformation from being nothing to being not just something, but being an officer who can really bring difference really requires lots of sacrifices from your side, right? If you want to reach there, don't be in your comfort zone. Don't try to make it very comfortable. People try to blame the exam in the sense that they don't want to adapt according to the demand of the examination. They want exam to be modified according to their personality. And this is what happens. So tomorrow I will read it. Okay. Tomorrow I will write it. Today I am not writing, Sunday I will sit and I will write all 7 answers. Right. So I haven't given this test this week. Another week I will sit and I will give both the tests. Because I have attempts, n number of attempts. I have age with me. Yovana tumbi todukta ide. Right. Parents support is there. Right. So all these are excuses. And if you just in your thinking itself, if you can move beyond ordinary and think like an ambitious person, think about the bigger things you can do as an aspirant, right? So you will not do these small things, and also you will not get involved in. So this brings to that topic, right? So all these love, friendship, so all these things. So they are very important in life, right? But so as long as you clear, my suggestion is don't fall into that trap, right? So this is not college, right? So where you get attracted to beautiful girl or handsome boy, or intelligent boy or intelligent girl. Control, self control. Like, it's not going to help you in any way. And I have seen more couples failing in this examination. I mean, I have seen that. Like, if at all you are already in love or something, keep it aside. Tell them, have a mutual agreement, write an agreement that 2 years, 3 years, let that love be there within the mind, right? So, let me focus on this examination. So, we are not against love, like mine is also love marriage, right? So, we are not against love or anything. The thing is, it will never allow you to completely give your 100%, like focus on the examination. Yes. If somebody is in the relationship, you know that it's not going to be very smooth, right? And you have seen in movies and everywhere, it's never going to be smooth. Even small distraction, small hiccup will definitely affect you. But if there is perfect understanding, it is well and good. But I don't think that's possible. And those who are still in, singles, right? Bachelors. Yeah, all of you are bachelors. So, if at all you want to get attracted to yeah, UPSC, yes. Get attracted to preparation, get attracted to writing, think about how you can, go on improving your abilities, skills. There is so much to improve. The unfortunate truth is, the success rate is very low in this examination. Okay. So, around 11 lakh people gave prelims last year. 4.5 lakh people gave wrote prelims, applied around 11 lakh, around half of them wrote prelims. 10,000 people went to mains, 2,000 people went to interview, 750 of them got selected. So, it is 0.04, right? So, what is the 0.04 of this classroom? Okay, very good. So, that is the attitude. But what I personally believe, right, entire class could be 0.04. I mean, you just, like whatever things I told, like, does it make any difference? Like, did you understand the importance? All of you, did you understand the importance of it? It's just in the thinking, right? If you really think in this direction and then accordingly, transform your personality, so you can do wonders. Everybody in this classroom could be topper, but that doesn't happen in the real world for some unknown reason. That's why I said, I don't know what is this thing about humans, right? Some people deviate, some people give up, some people, they are studying, but again they are not studying. You see people working 12, 14 hours, but so you don't see them succeed. Something happens. Maybe they don't come and talk, they don't get the guidance when they are not doing well, and their thinking is not right. So that is the reason. Okay. But if you prepare according to the thing that we are going to do, if not UPSC, worst case I am telling you, other exams, I have seen like many people easily clearing other examinations. So that will anyway happen. But you have in front of you an opportunity to crack this examination, right? And Jaydev also said, so like after he used to interact with me regularly. So I guided him for essay ethics, interview, GS answer writing. Sudeep sir, he was mentor. So we guided him, like he didn't go anywhere, completely here, in-house candidate. So he said, after coming here, after interacting with you people, after getting guidance, now I see that there is a method to clear this examination. It's not random, it is not uncertain. There is a method to it. He used these words. And then that's what we are doing. There is method to it, but how many of you are using that method? Not everyone. Those who are smart, those who are willing, those who have that faith, use that method and succeed. If not in 1 attempt, 2 attempt, 3 attempt, definitely that will happen. Right? So, what is the meaning of orientation? This was all about orientation. So, what is the meaning of orientation? What is the meaning of disorientation? I mean, orientation is giving you orientation, like orienting you towards the future journey, how to prepare, right? I think I have done that. How many of you understood everything that I told in the class? So those who are not raising hands, raise your hands. Huh? Did everyone understand like whatever I told you? Please remember these words, right? I don't know about I. When I use I, like I don't watch other videos, other institution videos. I don't know how others do orientation, right? I don't know how other toppers guide you. I don't even watch our own toppers videos, right? So I used to do that 2 years ago. Like I stopped doing everything, right? Want to be more original in whatever we do. So everything that I have told you purely based on experience, right? And I told you like around we did felicitation. 1 or 2 toppers came to Bangalore, rank 6, rank 10, Satyam Gandhi, Meera, right? So in top 100 only around 27 people came. So everyone were so familiar with me, right? I did multiple mocks with everyone. For some people 1 mock, but even then so familiar, every topper. So one thing I realized during the felicitation program, I started appreciating the UPSC examination. It still values merit. So if you're working hard, if your personality is good, and all the people who are in top 100, majority of them, 90% of them, I really predicted their marks to be 190 plus or 200 plus while giving them, mock interviews. So you see a personality and you can tell that this is a suitable personality, right? And 90% of them have got the similar marks that I predicted for them, right? So, like Jaydev got 206, so for him I took 17 mock interviews for Jaydev, right? Immediately after mains. The reason I am telling this is that going forward, not only me, like mentors will also be able to tell this. So when you meet them, we'll start identifying. We discuss when we go for a lot of dinners, lunch, everything. So we discuss, this is the candidate, who is going to definitely get rank. She will definitely get top 10, something like this. So 1 or 2 cases do not materialize, but next year definitely they will happen. So we will never know about, they are optional. Sometimes people don't do well in optional. So sometimes they have prepared really well for prelims, they fail in prelims because of anxiety issues. In the interview also, they get nervous, and unlucky day they get questions only on electrical engineering, not on anything, if they are from that branch of engineering. So something happened, but most of them easily bounce back. So with familiarity with your preparation and your interaction, we will be able to tell you that you are definitely going to crack this examination. And once we start identifying that, so you are very serious about preparation and you are listening to us and you are not deviating, here we give you complete support, right? Money is not an issue, right? Like we give our time. If you show that seriousness, we give our time. Like all we need is that, students like Jaydev or Neha Kumari, if at all, nobody comes like that, right? In package, they become like that in this journey. And every one of you here sitting, you can actually go on to become like that. So if that happens, then I am sure, like, we'll go on getting more ranks from classroom program. And so many people have cleared prelims, the previous OGP, the 21 batch. The program is running very nice, and I was surprised that most of the people who just started classes in even in October, even last August, who gave prelims this year, are telling that they are scoring in the range of 80 to 95. I mean, there are people who are in service who are given interview, they are also not scoring 80 plus or 85 plus. You can speak to people, those who have given attempt, many of them might not have cleared, but scoring 80 plus, even if they are given just for the experience sake, is for me phenomenal. Within the span of 1 year, right? Most of them I have never met, like, before, they came after the result. So if they had really used everything, they would have definitely cleared. And there are students who started writing essays from day one and they have cleared prelims. And you will definitely see 2 to 3 minimum ranks from this OGP, like 22 OGP next year. So 21 OGP. Right. So I want that number to go on increasing. Right. We will do our job and you do your part. Right. You will get timetable. Right. So we'll follow the timetable. The order sometimes change. Like for example, the faculties are all here only, Insights faculties. For ethics, we bring new faculty, or we also have in-house faculty. They are accessible to you all the time. So if we schedule geography, so if it is not well or something, then we schedule another subject during that time. But the timetable we give remains the same. Every day we give questions, every week we give tests. So there is no difference in that. And mentorship is available. You can book appointment with mentors. In few days, mentors will be allotted to every one of you. You can meet them in person. Some of them are online, right? Most of them are here only in Bangalore. For students here, we give only here, the mentors. You have to go to them, show your answers. You can write anything. And I evaluate if some people bring, answers from Vision IAS, Forum IAS or any other institution. So we don't see that. We don't check your ID when you walk into, for guidance or evaluation. So we are very open to, and that is how we started getting good number of ranks. Being open to students and your queries, and then again we will entertain only the serious students. As I said, if I come to know that in few weeks or few months, if we start noticing that you are really dedicated, we will show that equal responsibility, seriousness, right? So we will not say that okay, go. We will not see your essay or answer. We will tell tomorrow you can come. If I am free, no one then and there we will do it. So it is what, reciprocal. Any doubts? No doubts. So how many of you are going to get us ranks? Good. What about you? No. You're thinking. So what it takes to get rank? Can anyone summarize? Nothing. What? So just answer few. Will you fall in love if you haven't fallen in love? Yes or no? Like next 2 years at least. No. I mean, this is very serious. Right? You can watch movies, you can do anything, but distract yourself with entertainment, go for jog, meditation and all these things. I have literally seen people, life, very intelligent people, bright people, not making it because out of those 14 hours you are giving some of those hours into something. I mean, I don't know. Anyone against this argument? Anyone here? Like Ravichandran? Right. So it's just in your interest I am telling. Right. After this orientation, even if that thing happens, after 3 years you will remember me. Or after 4 years you will remember me, you will remember this talk. Right. And you will put my photo in front of you and say that I should have listened to this Mahatma in the very beginning. And this also happens. Like, people come and, after 3-4 years, especially on 3 occasions. After prelims, after mains and after final result. Few people come. So that day I waited for 1 hour because there was so much rush. I went back. So I couldn't meet you again. Now I feel I should have met you that day. Some people say you said something, I should have listened to you. Right? Anything we say, anything we do, out of two things. One, we want results. Anybody who comes and talks to us, we want you to be topper. Right? So that is out of two self-interest. One, definitely we really want to help you. When we say we really want to help you, we really want to help you. Second, it allows us to grow as an institution. Right? So without result, without our commitment, will you recommend insights? You won't, right? So that much common sense we have. Right? So it is up to you to make use of the things. So you shouldn't regret after 2-3 years that you missed an opportunity here. Of course, there are better things available with respect to UPS. So be smart to accommodate them within this framework, but don't completely deviate. Right? There may be a better textbook, there may be a better video or something. So be smart enough to adapt, accommodate, but never criticize, never be too harsh on anyone. Just work within this thing. So did you get this last point? Anything? You can ask any doubts. All of you are freshers, right? You haven't given any attempts, majority of you. Anyone given any attempt? Just for experience. Prelims, that's for experience sake, or did you prepare and give? Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Any doubts?
Medium student ಟೈಟಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನೋ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಮುಗಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ
Sit down. Okay. So his question is like he's saying he's Kannada medium student from primary school to graduation. So how he should manage. So when it comes to medium of language, that is not a barrier in giving the examination. Right? So irrespective of what is your education background, UPSC allows you to write in the Kannada medium and give interview in Kannada also. But what is required is you must put extra effort to improve your English. It is non-negotiable. Because in prelims and in mains, there is English paper, compulsory English and comprehension. They are not giving in Kannada. So you should compulsorily read the Hindu even if you are Kannada medium student. It will be very difficult for you, like 1 or 2 months. But continue to read, have a dictionary, upgrade your English skills. So second thing, within Kannada medium, the results are decreasing because when people write in their native language, regional language, they cannot write equal number of points what English medium people are writing, because you have to explain stuff, right? The space is same for both the languages. Second, more than this point, what is important is the quality of language you write. ನೀವೇನು ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತಿರಲ್ಲ, it should be like textbook language. It should be very standard. So if you bring that actual depth and standard of what is there in textbooks, standard textbooks, into your answers, you will also clear the examination. Okay. Other than that, absolutely there is no drawback. So prepare confidently. And in our institution, we give guidance in both Kannada medium. There are some people who can guide in Hindi medium also. So there is nothing to worry. You can come to me also writing in essay in Kannada medium. Okay, Kannada answers. It's perfectly fine. Any other doubts? You don't have doubts?
Sir, I work as a trainer in a corporate company. It's been already late in my perspective that I'm already 27 years old. And I'm needing to put my 8 to 9 hours of the day completing my office work. So, there are any suggestions that how could I go for it? Because I don't want to compromise my preparation also. And I'm slightly confused that should I go for the online or offline class also, because I may need to travel 1 hour and a half.
So for you, I would recommend online classes. Online classes and offline tests, weekly test, right? So what you can do, the same class which happens 3 hours, you can fast forward. What do you say in English? What's the mundike? Fast track. So that you can watch in 2 hours. Many people do that. So 6-hour classes they watch in 4.5 hours. That will save you time. In addition to that, see, there is no shortcut, as I said. So you need to compulsorily read optional and standard textbooks. So you can use your weekends for that. But on day-to-day basis, try to do justice to the foundation itself. So whatever classroom thing we are doing, revise it from standard textbooks, from classroom notes, and try to be very good at those things. Weekend you can use for optional, and you can give yourself more time and then start doing answer writing practice. Right? So don't overburden yourself. If the job is very necessary for you, so don't stress, don't overburden. Give yourself more time. 27, which month? Which month birthday? No, which month of, how many attempts you have?
Another 5 years.
5 attempts you have, right? So in 2 attempts you can crack it, right? Maximum. So don't stress yourself. That is important. See, don't be under stress. So we see many people, we have mental wellness coach for that also. The thing is, why get stressed? Don't go into depression. We have seen people getting into clinical depression, taking treatment. It is all kind of avoidable. If you look at this exam as one beautiful journey of learning, enjoying, improving your personality, right? So philosophically speaking, prepare without expectations, right? So don't have those big expectations of seeing yourself crack this exam in one attempt. Of course, the dream should be there, but expectation is different, right? So don't focus on outcomes. So focus on the process. So you're listening to the class, like 100% concentration focus should be on what is being said in the class. Then internalizing it, and then another class happens, focus is on that, right? So you shouldn't be, so that is when it starts. You avoid answer writing because you are worried about outcome, writing poor answer. You don't write essay because you are afraid that you will write bad essay. So even if you write essay, you are afraid to come and give it for review because you are afraid of criticism. So if they are going to scold me or criticize me, you are afraid of giving mock tests because you are afraid of scoring low marks. So the outcome part you completely forget. Focus on learning. Treat yourself as a learner till the last day. Every opportunity, everything you do is part of learning and developing your personality. If you think like that, you will never get stressed. You will never slip into depression, right? So what is the major cause of depression? Overthinking. Expectations. Okay. Expectations from beyond realities. Unrealistic expectations. The competition, right? Competition around you which you think exists. The competition exists in your mind only. So I don't see a competition between you two, right? So and then pressure, unrealistic expectations, trying to be perfect in everything, chasing perfectionism. So that is also cause of stress and depression. Be realistic, be very objective. So if you are weak in something, give yourself more time to develop that skill. Don't overnight, because someone else is doing better, don't compare. So let them go, let them succeed, let them go forward, enjoy life. You take your own time. Again, this is very important because you cannot clear prelims without a calm mind, without a stress-free mind. It is impossible. You might prepare like 14 hours a day, you know everything in and out, you can write Lakshmikant like textbook, you yourself can be an author, but you cannot clear preliminary examination in those 2 hours if you are not fully relaxed, fully calm, right? If you are not completely calm, you are not going to clear it. 1 or 2 unknown questions, difficult questions will unsettle you, right? And the paper is gone. So you cannot suddenly get calm on in those 2 hours, right? You have to be like that from day one in everything you do. Okay. That's what I meant, like journey of personality development also. Am I talking too much? Right. So these are very important things. I don't want to talk about insights, what we do and all. You will go on discovering, right? So I have realized promise less, deliver more, right? I used to promise more in the beginning. So for me also, for us also, it's a journey in self discovery. So our focus is on results. If you come with seriousness, we are dedicated to you. That's it. We'll go extra mile to do anything for you. It is just depends on you. So okay, all the best. So wish you all the best. I hope you will go on implementing, practicing whatever that is being told in the class. Otherwise, it remains another video on YouTube, right? Which you will forget and which others will watch and forget, right? Try to be extraordinary, right? So just don't be ordinary in your thinking on what you are going to do. Try to be different, try to be unique, right? And by being that, you will be rewarded. The success will chase you actually. So for online students also mentorship is available because some online people are seeing this. So online people, the mentorship will be there through online. And if you are going to miss some classes, you can also watch online videos. And somebody is asking how many answers per day should be targeted, GS plus optional. So after like 1 or 2 months into preparation, I recommend at least 2 optional answers and 2 GS answers, right? So many people are against the idea that the answer writing should be done from day 1, but we strongly believe it should be from day 1. Say you join optional class, you complete 1 unit, so you take previous year questions of that unit and try to answer 1 or 2 questions on the very day itself. If not complete answer, you can at least prepare some skeleton or basic points for that. That's what practice. The more you practice, you will overcome everything. With respect to prelims, elimination skills, intelligent guessing, the more questions you do from day 1. So on website itself, we are posting 25 questions on a daily basis, right? Solve all those 25 questions. 5 CSAT and 20 GS related, 15 current affairs, 5 static. Whether you have read those topics or not, solve them. So you will solve random quiz, right? If at all you are interested in quizzing. So like that, so solve these questions. There is nothing to lose. You will learn something. Similarly, answer writing, once you get confidence of writing 1 answer in the class, so pick up 1 question from Secure, start with 1 answer and slowly 2 answer writing. And weekly essay, we give some difficult topics, but you can choose any easy topic, your own easy topic, and try to write an essay on the topic. So this is very, very, very much important, to get a rank. Somebody is asking, sir, please tell me about yourself. So myself is Vinay Kumar, right? So if you didn't know my name, how many of you didn't know? I'm sure like you don't want, you are very humble personally. So myself is Vinay Kumar GB. That's it. So I am the founder and so-called director of this institution, right? So I don't assume myself as a director or whatever it is, right? Somebody who is very much part of the institution, equal like everyone, equal like you, everyone in the institution. So I used to be an aspirant like you between 2006 to 2011. So I gave my 4 attempts and then went till interview, didn't make it. I scored one of the highest marks in interview, 210 marks at that time, and scored very low in geography and became very successful in this field. So I was selected in KAS 2011 batch, right? So you know the fate of 2011 batch. Something happened and that was the turning point for me to come here, and that was in 2011. And 2008 I was selected as Panchayat Development Officer, PDO. If you are coming from village, you know who is PDO. Nowadays they call them as PDE. PDE, right? So ours was the first batch of PDO. So I worked in Gram Panchayat for 1 year, 10 months. So I was in charge of 1 Gram Panchayat, implementing schemes, and there I was, as an IAS aspirant. So I went as a PDO, and while working as PDO, I went to interview, and because of experience as PDO, I was able to score very good marks in interview because of grassroots level understanding. So that's what. So 2011 didn't get selected. The attempts got over, and I had this website as a blog. So started. That's what I recommended you to write. Read. So I used to read lot of non-UPSC things. Write lot of non-UPSC things, blogging about issues. Inviting some trouble also now and then. So as today also I tweeted, if somebody is following my Twitter handle, that I used to treat myself as a rebel, so as an aspirant. You were angry about everything, as if you have control over things. So I used to write like that, and people used to read. I didn't know people would come and read them. At that time, blogging was evolving. Google came into existence in 2003. So started blogging in like 2006. So people started. There were not too many blogs. People started following it, the content I was writing. And what I meant by trouble, Jagdish Titler, there was one leader I think, I don't know, he's alive or dead. So he was part of that 1984 Sikh massacre, right? So there was some case was going on. I had written about it. So like the title was, Jagdish Titler, traitor, Hitler, something. So he read that post actually. So as an aspirant at that time, and he sent a mail threatening that I'll get your identity removed from the internet, something like that. I still cherish that. So then I realized I am an important person, right? So what I am writing, people are reading. So it gave me more motivation that to write more. Of course, I removed that post and then started writing. And 2011, when attempts got over, for me, luckily 2011 was the year when the pattern changed for prelims. Till then, you had optional subject in prelims, right? It is not like CSAT and general studies. One general studies and one of your optionals. Two optionals you had to take in mains and one in prelims. So you had entire paper in either geography, anthropology, whichever optional you wanted to take. So in 11 they changed the pattern. So because I was reading so much online stuff and other books, I wrote an article how to prepare for prelims in new pattern. The internet is a beautiful thing, right? When you create something new for the first time, it becomes viral. So nobody had written about it, whether good or bad. People started reading it because nobody had any clue about it. So then suddenly people started calling me sir, like 11, and then I felt I am sir now, so I should write more about UPSC. Then started writing more about UPSC, and 2013, another year, they changed the mains pattern. So mains, they removed two optionals and then put entire bias towards GS papers. Again, I wrote how to prepare for GS 1, 2, 3, 4. So putting sources and all those things. They became it. And the turning point was in 2013 June, because of new pattern, I immediately realized that answer writing is very important. Because I was writing, it used to help me in scoring very good marks in essay and GS papers. So I realized that will happen to the students. I started this kind of, now looking back, it's a revolutionary thing, that daily answer writing challenge. Nobody had thought about it, nobody had done in the internet for UPSC perspective. So I started giving one question every day and asked the followers, those who were calling me sir, to write answers, and I said I will evaluate it. So they started posting answers. We suddenly started receiving so many answers, and I used to review every answers. And in the very same year, those who wrote 2013 means from online, so many of them got ranks, because there is no registration needed. There was no such thing. So some of them acknowledged, but somebody who was part of the daily answer writing got very good result. And then this idea came up, Secure Initiative, giving questions from editorials, right? So it changed everything. So it started inviting more people to our website. And then I got the courage. I was teaching in Mysore in a small institution for 600 rupees per hour. So they used to give me 2 classes in a week. So I was completely unemployed, like after all my attempts. Like I was earning 4,000 rupees per month and I was perfectly happy. So I was in my own universe of, happiness. So it was enough for mobile charge, petrol charge of my CD100. I had CD100. Now I come in Mercedes Benz. So now I come intentionally because till 30 years, I had an entirely different life, right? Like clinging to these BMTC buses, chasing them, train and everything. So the God has given something from you people, enjoy it, right? So at the same time, do justice to you people also. So that's what I'm doing. And then what happened? We started offline, as I said, Neha Kumari batch. Very first batch we got 5 ranks out of those 41 students. Around 15 students stayed back because it's the natural thing, right? Everyone will not write answers every day. So they were rebels, said this method doesn't work. So they left. And those who stayed back, we got 5 ranks. So rank 8, rank 26, rank 36, rank 95, rank 395. 4 of them got IAS and 1 of them got IRS income tax, right? So then next year also we got rank 35 from that core batch. 2016 rank 1, Nandini KR. So I used to be one person who was handling till 2017. I used to take limited student, then expanded, got many mentors, many teachers. And so since then it is doing great. So we are giving good results. Changed Bangalore. They spoiled this Chandra layouts, the main road. So we are the culprits. So it used to be very kind of empty road earlier. Now you see all lovebirds. So serious aspirants. Leader gatle coffee kudiyoru, like people. So who keep drinking coffees, like you see them in coffee shop or juice shop, like all the time, right? And like philosophers. So this street is with filled with everyone. So everyone's business has boomed in this street, right? So they should actually name this, change the name of this street actually, right? So hope somebody will become BBMP commissioner in future, and right, will do that. So that is how the story has been, and everything is because of excellent team we have. Everyone is so dedicated. So lucky to have people like them. So they don't worry about when you are coming. They keep guiding you, and most of them used to be my students, and because they were so talented, we took them. I never believed in the idea that inviting some expert from Delhi, Hyderabad, giving them so much importance, making them treating them like gods, making them teach you for 3 hours and then vanish. You talk to them, they don't talk to you. Very arrogant. So I thought, let us build our own, give opportunities to youngsters. So that's what we are doing. Every year when somebody doesn't, that's what I meant by continuous support, not just in UPSC. So we are ensuring that, so even those who don't make it, they can rely on insights for livelihood also. So that thing, so we are continuing in our limited capacity. But everyone of you have an opportunity to clear this examination. So focus on succeeding, becoming part of the system and reforming it from within, right? From outside I cannot do much. I can donate like 10-20 lakh during COVID, help our relatives get better education. Some of you give discounts, some of you give free. So it's limited, right? But if you become district collector or CEO of Zilla Panchayat, you can do it for like thousands of people, right? From the tax I am paying to the government, right? From the tax, lakhs of people who are paying to the government. So that should be the whole purpose of this whole journey, right? But if you cannot get into this, unfortunately for some reasons, there are other avenues available, right? So success, again to end it on a philosophical note, success is nothing but being happy and spreading happiness, irrespective of in any role that is possible, right? So that should be the definition of success. What happened to Puneeth Rajkumar. So today people are mourning not because he was a superstar, mainly because he was a very good human being, right? So people relate to him, people appreciate he was humble, and he had that good helping nature. So people value that aspect more than I don't think everyone is going back and watching his movies now, right? To appreciate as an actor, but what they are appreciating is as a human being. So that is what you can do on everyday basis. You don't have to get into a big position and do it, right? In your own limited things. So again, talking too much because somebody asked a question here. So how can online student get your guidance? So you can just call, right? You can take my number. So that's what like. So I give my number to everyone, then entertain only the serious ones, right? So everyone is equally capable here. So if I am there, you can come to me. If Sudeep sir, Tanmay sir, Aditya sir, Shashank sir, Ashish, everyone excellent. Like I'm telling you from my own experience, everyone is so qualified, so good in their guidance. You can blindly rely on them. Every mentor, right? So make use of the things. All the best. Thank you.